to go with it.
If you want your business to go to another level, you must try to learn and hear something new. So make the change today. So don't procrastinate and see your business grow and change. So check out Drastic with Toni Harris Taylor. Toni Harris Taylor. Drastic oh yeah, Toni Harris Taylor. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. It's Toni Harris Taylor, and this is a impromptu live on my channel because we were going to have it on Leanne's channel, and the tech gremlins got us this morning. So I decided to let's just flip the script and let's change over to my streaming. And now we are streaming both to the Wake Up Happy Sis community and to my communities. And so actually, I'm the one being interviewed today. I'm on the hot seat. And Leanne, she is amazing. She'll tell you all about who she is and what she does. And let's get the conversation started. Hey, Leanne.
Hey, Toni, how are you today, beautiful?
I'm doing wonderful. The tech gremlins got us all around this morning, but
Yeah.
I am not going to be defeated. And I am here for it. So let's
we pivot
That's
at
what
all
we do.
times.
That's actually what we're going to talk about today. So we meant to do that.
Exactly. It was all planned. So welcome. Hey, everybody. I'm Leanne Dulce. I am your Chief Self-Love Officer at Wake Up Happy Sis. And I'm also the host of the Wake Up Happy Sis show, which we were supposed to be on today, but technology wanted to act a little bit of a fool today. So we had to switch it up a little bit. But today we're going to be interviewing Toni Harris Taylor, and we're really going to be getting into the concept of wellness. And I know you're thinking, but Toni's a financial person. What does that have to do with wellness? It has everything to do with wellness, right? We're going to get in a little bit about the 8 dimensions of self-care, and one of them being financial. Because when your financial house is not in order, everything else sometimes feels out of whack, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. Because honestly, if I'm being honest, most of us really were not raised to be owners. We have been raised to be what? Survivors. Not even moving into a space of thriving in our life, but merely getting by. We're taught how to survive, right?
Yep.
We were told to go ahead and get that degree so you can get that good paying job, preferably a government job if you're of a certain age. That was where all the stability was. But how's that? Not really working so well in these days, right? But we're supposed to be loyal, climb that ladder, work for somebody else, give all of our best to someone else's business, right?
Mm-hmm.
That ladder was never meant for us to climb to the top.
Correct.
We hit that glass ceiling real low,
Correct.
especially as Black women.
Correct.
So what if there was another way? I just want to open your mind a little bit today, and we're going to chit chat with Toni because Toni has the blueprint for us, and she's making it happen for people like you and me because there's not enough representation of us in this space. So I'm not going to call her a guest because we're on her show. She can't really be a guest on her show, but she's helping us turn our what ifs into hell yeses. And I'm sorry, I do cuss a little bit. I'm not going to cuss on your show, but I do cuss a little bit because it makes my lips feel real tingly and spicy.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to keep that. I'm going to keep it cute. I'm going to keep it cute today.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'm so excited to have this conversation because you're right. What we're going to talk about today is so foreign to us.
Yes.
We have not been educated about what is possible, another way to create wealth and freedom for our lives and our families. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So, um, let me ask you this, right? So you're working with women that are often transitioning from their high-powered corporate careers. And, why do you actually believe that franchising is kind of that powerful pathway to freedom for Black women who are looking to get out of the rat race and to strike out on their own?
Yeah. So, entrepreneurship. Let's start there. So, entrepreneurship. I've been an entrepreneur for 35 years. I just can't even believe I'm saying that out loud. 35 years in various capacities, but I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2013. And I started a coaching business. I thought I was going to be a big time keynote speaker in the financial space because I used to be a financial advisor working for a corporate entity. And it was commission-based sales. And I was one of those high power. I got promoted up the ladder, high powered professional women. And then I decided it was time. My husband passed away in 2012. And so it was time for me to do what I wanted to do. And when I launched my business, I started networking and showing up around the country, trying to get this keynote business going. And I know a lot of our sisters want to do the whole speaking thing and the keynoting thing. Yeah. And what I found out is, the financial services really still didn't want to hear the voice of Black women. So I partnered with a big email marketing company. I was one of their top affiliates, top 5 salesperson in the world. And then again, they pulled the rug out from under us, and I had to go figure out what else I was going to do. And it took me 2.5 years, Leanne, to figure that out. And I started talking to a friend of mine who's a coach, and she said, Toni, what's your why? And I told her, she said, you've already done that. You need a new why. Perhaps you need a why that's going to motivate you to want to stay in business. And so I went and created a new why, came back to her. I said, my why is to touch, move, and inspire my clients to take drastic steps to be better than they were before they met me. I'm a resource. I'm a connector. I want to help people build deeper relationships that are beneficial to their life and business. She said, what would you need to do to get paid to connect people? Now, my inside voice said, lady, if I knew that, I wouldn't be talking to you.
Right.
My outside voice said, I think I need to start my own networking group. She said, I think you should too. I said, absolutely not. I don't have, watch this, I don't have a blueprint. I don't know how to run a meeting. I don't know what to charge. I don't have technology to pull it together. I've seen too many people run networking groups not making any money, and I don't want to start from scratch. The very next week, Network in Action, a franchise for networking, home-based, came into my life. I didn't know such a thing existed.
I didn't know either.
I was like, there's a franchise for networking. And when I tell you everything I said I didn't have the week before, the franchise already had in it. All I had to do was plug and play. And from there, I became their first ever Rookie of the Year, brand ambassador, community service. I just needed a system to take the skills I already had, starting from my corporate when I was in financial services, into a system. And all I had to do was plug and play. And so now, sisters, if you are one of those high-powered sisters, you have great skills that will transfer over to a system that is yours. It's your system. Even though you're plugging into a franchise, it's your asset. You're now fast forwarding or speeding up the process through franchising. And so I started going to events, and I learned that there's 4,000 franchises in the US, a lot of home-based. A lot of them are $1 million They're making millions of dollars, and you can get into them for less than $150,000.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question is, a lot of people think that, oh, you've got to be so wealthy and have so much money and resources to purchase a franchise. Can you kind of break down what franchising really is and what options really exist for the women like us who don't have our $1 million yet? Yet.
Yet, yet. So, what franchising really is, it is a system that someone else has created, bumped their head, skint their knee, made the mistakes, and now it's no perfection, but they've got it to a well-oiled machine where it's duplicatable, and now someone like you can step in and purchase their machine, like I did with Network in Action. I want to keep that going because there's going to be a theme here. So, financing and funding. So, I specialize in helping multicultural communities get into franchises that are $150,000 or less. There are, when the government acts right, SBA loans, just like we funded student loans, we can fund our business. You need a 700 credit score and 20% liquid. So let's use the 150. Now there's a ton that are under 100, but I'm going to use the 150 as a threshold because the SBA has something called an express loan for $150,000. So it can be less, but let's just use that as a number. That means you need $30,000 in liquid assets, a 700 credit score. You need some sort of, either your spouse has income or you still are working. So do all this while you're still working so that you can show you have some income. And then you can get a government loan. Now, the other folks, they know how to leverage other people's money. We just haven't been taught.
Exactly.
You can always pay that loan off early, but why not use what the government is giving us, just like most of us did for student loans? So it's there for us. You also can use your 401k. There's something called a ROBS, rollover business startup. So you can do a rollover into your business without penalties using your 401k. Especially those of you who have lost your jobs. You can't do it while you're still in service. So if you've lost your job, you can do a rollover into your own business. We don't know. These conversations are not being had in the rooms we're in.
And I think that's especially important now if you're looking at the government shutdowns. A lot of people really just being on edge because they don't know what tomorrow holds. They don't know when they'll be able to go back to work. And especially those who may be still working, but they're working for free right now until the government shut down, so the government figures it out. One way or the other.
We thought good government jobs was good to go.
That was growing up. That was the thing. You wanted that good government job. And now you're seeing that it's not the security blanket that we thought it was. Yeah. And I think oftentimes we get into this space of thinking that we can't do it. Now, I'm not saying every person is meant to be an entrepreneur. That's not the case. We need workers. Somebody's got to be the workers.
Correct.
But we need more representation of us. And if we're looking to step out of survival mode, correct, and move on this path to our soft life, because I'm moving into my soft girl era, we have to flip the script.
We have to do something different.
Yes.
We have to do something different. You know, when I started showing up in the rooms, I had no idea that franchising existed outside of food or retail.
Yeah, that's what you think of.
We think about food. I don't want no restaurant. In fact, I talk people out of restaurants unless it's a really unique concept. And I have a couple that I do represent. But restaurants are hard. Build outs are hard. Employees, right? So, you know what the hottest thing is out there right now for me?
Giving tips, y'all better lean in. Y'all better lean in.
Home services.
Mm-hmm.
AI ain't taking that away, right? So let me break that down. Residential cleaning used to be for the rich and the elite when we were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But now women are like, I ain't cleaning my house. That is monthly recurring income. The residential cleaning companies I am affiliated with, they make well over $1 million. And you ain't the cleaner. Let's talk about that. You ain't cleaning people's houses. You are hiring cleaners.
That's right.
Right? So picking up dog poop in people's backyards. I have a whole thing talk why people don't pick up their own dog's poop. But hey, if you want to pay me, do you know the dog poop franchise that I particularly like is sold out? I live in Houston. In Houston, Austin, and Dallas, sold out. Sold out.
Wow.
Why? Because they see the benefit. They see.
I don't want to do that. That's the.
And so why not start that business, hire people, poopers, scoopers, and it's low overhead. It's home-based or small office-based, less than $100,000 to start, and you get the blueprint. Come on now. There is air conditioning business, handyman. Never enough handyman out here. So handyman business, painting, flooring. And let me say this about it as well. For those who are already entrepreneurs listening to this, you should buy a franchise that complements what you already do. So I was already a business coach teaching network here. Over here, I bought a franchise that gives my people a place to network. These businesses fed each other. Think real estate. If you're in the real estate industry, whether you're an investor or a realtor, you should have one of those home service businesses I just mentioned.
Yeah. Landscaping. They always need landscaping.
Always.
They need people to stage the houses and take pictures of the houses and repair. There's so much.
Roofing, gutters, windows. There's franchises for every industry you can think of. And so we just haven't got the message. Every time I ask us, what do you know about franchising? You mean Chick-fil-A? You mean McDonald's? No, I don't mean any of those. I mean home-based. And here's another thing. Let's go back to the funding piece. Now, this doesn't happen every day. So I'm not telling you guys this is the norm. But a lot of these franchises are emerging. What that means is they're small enough that the franchisor still has autonomy to do what he wants or she wants to do. So when I bought my NIA franchise, I did not have the $40,000 investment. It's now $35,000. So I didn't have that investment. But the franchisor liked me so much, he said, I'll put you on a monthly note. I'll self-fund and I'll put you on a monthly note. He gave me an opportunity because of the way I showed up. And so there are franchisors out there that are small enough to have the autonomy to do that if they see something good in you.
So, and let's talk a little bit about that, because I think what that takes is a mindset shift, right? There has to be a drastic mindset shift for us because we've spent so long in corporate America.
Yeah.
We're so used to being an employee. That's a mindset shift to switch to being employer. Yeah. So talk a little bit about that. And this is what we're talking about, that wellness piece, that self-care piece, because everything starts up here first. Because if
Correct.
you can see it, I'm a firm believer. If I see it, I can achieve it. I have very vivid um, images of certain things in my life that I've gone after. And so let's talk a little bit about how do we start to shift and let go of that fear that comes when you're saying, okay, I'm going to let this corporate job go, this good government job go, and I'm going to step out on my own. How do we start working, women through that?
So, as you can see, my brand is all about being drastic, not just drastic, but drastic. And so, you have to develop your drastic mindset muscles while you're still in the job. And you said let go of the fear. There's never letting go of the fear. In fact, if you're not feeling fear, you're not thinking big enough. You're not doing big enough. I'm always fearful of my next step. I just feel the fear and move forward anyway. How do I do that? I surround myself with the right people. I have a coach who gives me the courage to move when I don't have the courage, right? Until I get the courage. And then when it's time for my next drastic move, I get the next coach who can help me. And I will tell you in what I'm doing with helping people to transition, I'm that coach. And I find a lot of people with a lot of fear. Now they are releasing a lot of the fear about letting go of the jobs because they just see that there's no security in a job.
Mhm.
It just isn't. And so they're watching everybody around them and they're just waiting for their turn. You should be afraid of that.
That,
You
that,
should be afraid of your turn to be let go. And what are you doing while you're in that job? So, networking, coaching, getting support, talking to people who've already done it so
mhm.
they can help you to not bump your head and skin your knee.
And
And the,
what I found a lot of times is that people who are doing what you want to do, people are so scared to ask, hey, can I intern here? Can I shadow you? Will you be my mentor? Whatever. You'll find that people are more willing to help you when they see that you're serious and you are actually a risk taker and you're actually stepping forward, because courage is not the concept of not being fearful. Like Toni said, it's doing it anyway. When you're scared, you
doing
say
it.
it out of your mind, but you do it anyway. Because
But
how else are you going to build that better life?
that's why franchising is such a good way, because you are having a business. There's some franchises, as I said, that are small enough, they're very entrepreneurship. But then there's legacy brands out there. One of my favorite is Neighborly. The other favorite is Authority Brands. Neighborly has 19 home service brands under them. They are corporate, but you still own your own business. So you have the safety net of
You
they
have
get
the support.
in-house coaches, they got training, they've got all the stuff. So you that's why franchising is such a better way than starting a business from
From first,
scratch.
go
I
with
just
a model that's proven.
It's proven already.
Mhm.
And if you are super fearful, we'll just go with something that's more legacy, where they do have the corporate structure behind you, but it's still your own business.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I just I got to get this message out, and you guys got to help us get this message
Yeah.
out so that others will know that we don't have to stay stuck.
We don't. It's a choice. At some point, it is a choice. You can be fearful and you can stay in that line. And when you die, I hate to sound morbid, but the next day, the next week, they will have you replaced
They
as if
will
you were
have you
there.
replaced. So let's talk about this. Franchising is a great way to build legacy.
Yeah.
So I have let's just start with me. So when I entered franchising, I was looking for a job. That's why I was talking to my friend, the coach. And that's where the whole conversation came up. And then God brought NIA, no doubt about that, to my life. So the very first thing I was able to do when I married my coaching business with NIA, I started having events. I've had 5 6-figure events since NIA 6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
At that point, I
Impressive.
took the money from the 5 6-figure events and bought more life insurance so my kids would be good. So that's the first line to create legacy. The simplest thing is take the money you're earning in your franchise, buy lots of life insurance so you can leave that legacy for the family that way. Then these are businesses that are saleable. So the franchises don't want you to walk away from your business. So they help you sell the business when it's time to get out. You have an asset. I'm sorry, but if your startup isn't major, you're not going to be able to get out of it. You're not going to be able to sell it. And your kids don't want it. So if you get a franchise, your kids can see that it's backed by a whole system. And there are multiple, I know lots of people in franchising now that are on their second, third generation. They don't look like us, of their kids picking up that franchise.
Yeah, I think that's a good point about they don't look like us, right? Um, we already know. If you go and look at a lot of these, even if we just looked at where people are traditionally thinking, restaurants, you don't see a lot of us.
Yeah.
As the owners. Yeah, we're the workers. We're the workers, but we're not the owners.
Now, so, I'm gonna throw some. I want to shout out a couple of people, and I can't think of their names right now, but they had 17 Wingstops, Black couple, beautiful couple, and they sold it. He said he didn't give the number, but he said the offer was way too good. I'm having an event we'll talk about in a minute, but one of my guest speakers is Mr. Rucker. Mr. Rucker owns 95 restaurants, something like 55 Jack in the Boxes and 40 Denny's.
And see, people over here don't know about Jack in the Box. On this side of the world,
okay.
Jack in the Box. We had that in Seattle. I think that might be a west side of the country thing,
right?
But that's the thing, right? Representation matters. Yeah. We need more people that look like us in this space. But as we kind of wrap this up, let's talk a little bit about that woman right now who says, you know what, Toni, I am ready. I am ready. I'm going to be fearless. I'm going to be courageous. I'm going to do it.
She's going to be drastic.
Yes, she's going to be drastic, baby. Drastic action. Yeah. And she's like, what's her first step on her journey?
Very first step is to go to drasticfranchise.com and download my free guide. And it's going to give you some back information about franchising in general. You'll get to read about my story. And then the second step is to get on my calendar and let's have a conversation. It's a free call. Get on my calendar. Let's just talk about what franchising is possible for you. I have a document. It's a power search. When I tell you there are hundreds of categories on there, so you'll go through that. You'll take a personality assessment so I can make you to the right brand for your personality and what you want. But work with a broker because I have access to over 700 brands in my portfolio, just like you would work with a real estate agent if you're looking for that right home. So, but go to drasticfranchise.com, download the guide, get on my calendar. There's a button on that page for that. And let's just have a conversation. And you don't know if you're ready or not. And so even if you don't think you're ready, let's go ahead and plant some seeds now for when you might be ready. And then register for my upcoming event, franchiseconnectlive.com. Franchiseconnectlive.com so that you can meet 15 franchisors who are ready to meet you. They all know my mission is to bring more people of color into franchising, and they are ready. And so come to that event. It's November 22nd, Saturday. I made it a Saturdays for all you working people. It's all virtual. It is a full day. It's from 9 to 5 Central, 10 to 6 Eastern. But you're going to meet Mr. Rucker, who has the 95. You're going to hear his story, right? You're going to meet franchisors. You're going to hear my story. And we're just going to educate you and then share it. There are a lot of people who need the info. Once they get the info, they can decide intelligently, I want to do a startup versus franchising. And let me dispel one more myth before we go. Franchising, there's a lot of flexibility. So if you buy a legacy brand like McDonald's, no, you cannot serve your grandmama's Kool-Aid recipe. Sorry, you cannot.
Can't do that. Can't do that. Don't mess up the
But
brand.
if you buy one of the small restaurants that emerging restaurants, you have a good recipe. Yes, the franchisor might accept your recipe, right? So you have more flexibility in an emerging brand. My NIA brand, I brought him some ideas they're still using today, 6 years later. So, yeah.
And I want to close by saying that this is your path to freedom. This is how you start redefining what success means on your own terms, instead of always looking at the productivity and profitability that you bring to somebody else. Let's start to be thoughtful and intentional about the last half of our lives. And for some of you, it might be the first half because you might still be young. You can be young and do this too. This isn't just for people who are looking to transition. You might not want to go into corporate America, right? And if your credit is a little shaky, have the conversation so you know where you need to pivot and make changes so that maybe in a year you can circle back around, because we're playing the long game. We're not looking for a get rich quick.
Correct.
That's not financial wellness. That's not financial self-care. Financial self-care says I take care of me and I'm planning for the rest, for my legacy, for my future, for my children, my great-grandchildren.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
So we have to
Absolutely.
put that in place. And Toni Harris Taylor is here to help you. Make sure that you head over to drasticfranchise.com. Get that free download and tell her that Leanne sent you.
Please
Okay?
please tell me that, Leanne. We are partnering on this.
Yes.
It is our mission to help more women of color, Black women specifically, buy into something that will give them freedom. Can we talk about freedom one more time before we
Yes.
go? And
Yes.
don't forget, go to Franchise Connect Live. I work more now than I ever worked in my life. I'm going to be honest.
Yes.
But I love what I do. And it does not feel like work. I travel all around the country intercontinentally because Network in Action came into my life. It has given me the platform to be able to speak all over the world, Philippines, Kenya, all over the US, Mexico, all through networking. And so that goal that I had when I set out in 2013 to be that speaker, it just came a whole different direction than I thought it would be in 2013. But when my daughter calls and says, "Can you keep the kids? I need something," I can say yes. When my mother calls and says, "Do you want to go on a trip? We're going to Hawaii, November." I didn't have to ask any permission. I blocked my calendar.
Said I'm going.
Right? So the freedom, not having to ask permission, that's the key. And it's changed my life. It's changed my life.
And I think that's an important fact that we have to make sure people understand. Running your own business is work, but it's work that you love. It's building something for you instead of always building for someone else.
Correct.
I'll work 60 hours for a little while so that because I'm building.
Correct. Correct.
And now you have AI to help you with some of those aspects. You don't have to do it all manually like 10 years ago,
Yeah.
just 5 years ago, right? Now you have tools that can help you optimize everything that you are doing
That's
in
right.
your new franchise business. So those hours that you're putting in, it's a labor of love.
Correct.
And when it's a labor of love, it never feels like work.
Correct. So it's beautiful. It is freedom. It's flexibility. I'm just grateful that God sent Network in Action into my life. And I started showing up in franchise rooms. And now He's put it in my heart to leave you all better than I found you by introducing you to another way.
Yes. So make
Thank you,
sure.
Ian.
Thank you, Toni, for being here with us today. And make sure that you guys head on over to drasticfranchise.com, get that download, then head over to Franchise Connect Live, get that ticket so that you can start building life on your terms. Our soft life era, our soft girl era is waiting on us. It's waiting on us, but we have to choose different. We have to choose freedom. We have to choose us. So
Correct.
get on the good foot, stop playing, get that information, and let's bring more Black wealth into the picture.
Thank y'all. See you soon.
See you later.
Drastic, so yeah, with Toni Harris Taylor. Toni Harris Taylor. Drastic, so oh yeah, Toni Harris Taylor. Yeah, yeah.
All right. That was